So I started getting super active on LinkedIn, like daily back in, I want to say March or April. It really spun up from, we were doing SMART goals for our team at work, just like really intentional. And it's
Okay.
something I always knew, like, listen, I've been in sales a long time. And I think now more than ever, social selling, showing up as human, being authentic, all these things that I feel in my soul, but I've been coached to email and cold call my whole life,
Yep.
like is finally coming to the forefront. I've never had a better time in sales than 2025. It's,
That's
but
awesome.
and we can get into that if it's necessary. But like,
No, I
so
want
anyway,
to. Yeah.
I set the SMART goal to be more active on LinkedIn from a work perspective to meet with our ICPs and just
Yeah.
see what happens. And I've been on podcasts about being a dad, about recovery, about like life, about fundraising. Like it's been amazing.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
and
I
just
love
running
it.
into like-minded people and in a
Yeah.
virtual, it's like a big neighborhood, you know?
It's so cool, man. And like, I've been active on LinkedIn, pretty damn active for like since 2017, 18. And
Forever.
you and I met before 2020 and became friends on LinkedIn when you were at One Cause, I
Yep.
recall.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, and I've said this so many times recently on the pod and the webinars, and anyone that will listen, frankly, is this platform was tailor made for our space. It seems like, and for folks that kind of vibe and feel the same way that we do. And listen, we don't have to agree with everybody, and that's totally cool. But like, just like the politeness, the graciousness, the sharing. And it's so funny because like I was like just kind of prepping. I don't, obviously didn't send you like a list of questions or anything like that before we got going. But there's a myriad of paths that you and I can go down
Sure.
and end up in the same place generally, of course, right? Like, because you have your background is awesome. There's a lot going on in a great way. You've got a lot of irons in the fire and 6 kids and all this. And I remember you when you were rapping and stuff like that. Like,
3 kids, man, almost pretty much. I think I had one when we met.
yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. But you know what? One thing that really stood out to me, and you just said it actually, was something I absolutely wanted to cover. Was through all of your experience and what you're doing right now, and like you just said, this is all coming to fruition. 2025 has been my best year, and it's not even over with yet. When we're recording this, we're just entering into Q4. But I really wanted you to speak truth about the human piece of fundraising.
Mm.
And it's amazing the symmetry that happens if you're working for a for-profit. Not all of it's the same. People give to people. People buy from people. The fact this is all happening at the same time, what you just said, this will have a point, and I'll stop talking. But like, I think people can smell BS better than they ever have before, which bleeds into that same scenario and same outcome that we're talking about. It's a really, really cool time in our space, regardless if you're on the for-profit or nonprofit side. No matter what, we're here to help nonprofits and prop them up. But talk about just like that, like I said, that's that human piece that's
Yeah,
massive.
absolutely. People are hungry for human connection, starving for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think in a world of AI and automation and workflows, which are all important. I mean, look, I use AI every day. Okay, but technology should not replace connection. It should leave more time for it, right? And it should free us up to do those things. So from a fundraising perspective, absolutely. If I'm reaching out to donors or if I'm wanting to connect people to my mission, it's always been about storytelling. It's always been about impact, right? But I really just got to show up with some authenticity, with some vulnerability, and speak truth to what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, not the what, right? And we can get further into it, but I firmly believe that like fundraising is great, but it's a connection business. It's not a money thing. It's connection. I think gifts are the byproduct of genuine relationships and connection. And I will be on this soapbox until the end of time. I feel like I've waited my entire life for 2025. I
Wow.
really do, because being able to, we all want to prepare. We want to have our ducks in a row. We want to set goals. We want to get better at things. We want to have these finite things in our lives, but they all have to be rooted in our why. What makes us tick? And if I'm a donor, I want to see myself in your mission. Me. Like when I give, I'm in the major give space now, right? Like if I give, it's not a financial thing. It's me seeing a piece of me in what you do. So as a major gift officer, as a development director, as a fundraiser, like I need to think about that. It's not an ask per se. The best fundraisers I come across, and there's a bunch of them, but the best fundraisers I come across are genuinely curious. They don't make assumptions. They don't beat around the bush. They're not afraid. But I come into a conversation genuinely curious about your why. What makes you tick? What's your identity? And can I align what we do with what makes you tick?
Yeah. There's so much to unpack there, but I agree on all counts. We say a lot, like reframing the ask piece. The best fundraisers that we see invite people to get involved, but it might start with like, "Hey, let's go get a cup of coffee," or it's interesting. The best fundraisers as well, I want you to speak of this, have a ton of courage. You said vulnerability and throwing yourself out there, and it seems like a lot of fundraisers have a hard time with just letting go of all of like, oh, what are they going to think about me? Or, or they're thinking with their own checkbook or what have you. And you know what I mean? And the answer to that is no, you should absolutely be unapologetically you, because you'll know if they vibe with you or not. And usually if you're in front of them and you're about ready to make that invitation, or you've already made the invitation, and you're in front of them, they know why, and they like you enough. I wish people would just like let the hooks out a little bit, and I know you've been through a lot and you could speak to that. Yeah.
Dude, you're speaking my language. I just appreciate you so much and your insight. So there's a couple of angles here that really resonate me. And as we go, feel free to interrupt, because I will soapbox on top of a soapbox, right? Because I feel very strongly about these things. You talked about fundraisers being vulnerable and putting the hooks in, getting out there. Human beings, anytime I do something, it's for a reason. I'm going to do something or choose not to do something for a reason. And so much of human beings' behavior is fear-based, right? It's this self-centered fear of, and I don't say self-centered like from an egotistical bad thing. It's just a fact, right? What are they going to think of me? What if I screw up? What's the outcome? These what ifs that go into it. And unfortunately, right, there's a lot of nonprofits that I run into that are led from the top down from a metric standpoint of these like lagging indicators. We are working to a number. We need X amount of touch points, right? It's transactional. You got the appeal, you got the gift, you got the generic thank you, wash, rinse, repeat, right? And we're trying to keep our heads above water. We're trying to overcome so much fear because we don't want to make a mistake. It's exhausting. The real shift comes from making it transformational. I loved when you said invite, the best ones invite, right? Mallory Erickson, I'm a Mallory Erickson fanboy, right? One of the things she talks about is we got to prompt, right? We got to prompt humans, right? So inviting them to be a part of our journey is huge. So you go from transactional to transformational. It's a shared vision. It's a mutual commitment. You build an emotional connection. There's long-term value there. But I think as human beings, like we gotta get to the emotional side of fundraising, right? And human connection, and away from, and this is probably because I'm not a detail-oriented person by nature, but like we got to get away from X's and O's. We got to get away from hitting a number. Like all of that happens when I'm able to focus on the now, the here and now, the present moment with the person I'm speaking to.
Yeah. We're big Mallory fans too. Yeah, we just had a chance to meet in person at Ray's actually.
Nice.
A
Yes.
few weeks ago. Yeah, it was really, really cool. So, and love the work that she's doing. We're big fans. So shout out to Mallory for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, folks are craving it. No matter what. I mean, like the best fundraisers, once again, that we talk to, being so heavily weighted in the event space, but our breadth of knowledge has widened so much just with the advent of the pod and the webinars and stuff like that. And just folks we've gotten the good fortune to meet, but the best event fundraiser we said that we talked to say, I didn't have time to focus on the money. So I focused on the people. and the money fall, you know, like that kind of, you know, that kind of stuff really, really resonates. And it is, you know, you and I are coloring outside the lines a little bit, and we still need to be metric minded for sure. But those are things, like you said, with AI that allow us, you know, like some of the same people that we roll with on LinkedIn say the same thing. It's like those are tools that allow me the time, more time to focus on the people. You know, another thing is we find ourselves circling back to, because like you said, you work with major gifts. A lot of the best major gifts people that I've spoken to, I want you to speak to this, you know, are like, why are we focused on new? We're always so focused on new. And you had a post probably, within the last like couple weeks that I saw where you're like, you laid out like a 5-step process on who to focus on and who not to focus on. And it's like, not the person that could potentially give you $1 million that you've never met yet, but the person that gave you, I don't know, $1,000, that has the capacity to give you 50 and wants to just go get a cup of coffee, you
Right.
know, that kind of thing, right? Like, talk about like just getting folks off the infatuation of new. And usually if you've been in business, you got a whole, you know, slew of people that's your best prospect list, but sitting right in front of you. You know what I mean?
It's right in front of us.
Yeah.
Your current donors are your best source of pipeline, right?
Yeah.
That's where my portfolio is.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't mean we don't want new donors. It doesn't mean that we're not trying to expand our mission from a constituent standpoint. Of course, we are going to do that. But when it comes to consistent, the right conversations, the right connections, the right touch points, that is with our current constituents. And again, getting genuinely curious about what drives them. And I think the important part is, like, we got to segment down. I'm a huge fan of simplifying. Right. I can't remember the last time that I woke up and was like, I would love more data. I want more.
Yeah. Right.
I would love more information. Right. Oh, short, bite size. So like, talk to me about the 30 donors that gave, $1,000 to $5,000 last year. I'm just spitballing here, right? That have replied, have come to an event, right? Have volunteered, have touched us in some sort of way. And let's nurture and cultivate those relationships. Right? It doesn't mean we don't reach out. We don't use our wealth screening tools and try to see who can give $1 million. Of course we do that. But there's intentionality. We can't just shove these people to the side. I've had a conversation recently with a guy named Martin Bout. Martin's VP of transformational gifts, major gifts at United Way here in Central Indiana.
Okay.
Shout out to the Hoosier State.
Yeah.
And he's really kind of leading the charge, at least from my standpoint, on how do we coach to leading indicators, not lagging ones, right? So lagging ones, numbers, dollars in, touch points, attendance at events, right? These types of things. What are our leading indicators, right? What are our types of conversations that are leading to success for our mission? How do we do more of those? How do we even track those? How do we quantify them to begin with? Like, there's got to be a way that we can do more of what's working and teach and coach to that, as opposed to playing catch up all the time. When we look at numbers, when we look at gifts that have come in, we're working in the past, right? So how do we get proactive and try to replicate that?
Yeah. It sounds super cliche, but Pareto's law was real frothy like 10 years ago and stuff like that. The 80-20 rule, where 80% of the business would come from 20% of the people, or 80% of the and you could flip that either way. You could spend 80% of your time and only get 20% of the output, right? Like the famous Pareto's law. And it's so obvious now. When you say those things about, like, and you were just riffing, spitballing with like the mid-level numbers and what have you, just putting a sign and a moniker to them, like the $1,000 to $5,000 level givers. And let's say you got 30 of them, it's like, I think of it like we're in the hospitality space, and that's how I'm framing fundraising in my mind. We're in the hospitality business, I think, just by being a for-profit company. I don't think I know, right? But my little soapbox is, I think that we're all in the hospitality business. Mm-hmm. And the way that, it's like, what is it? Opening doors, the unexpected things, the thank yous that I don't get from anybody else, which is another differentiator, big, huge piece, right? That we can talk about with fundraising, but we're defining it as thoughtfulness personified. And how did you make the other person feel?
Mm.
Just a two-part definition of hospitality. And I think that that would resonate really, really well with folks in the space if they just focus on how did you make that person feel. And I'm telling you, differentiation is stronger than competition. I'm not telling you like I'm giving a dissertation here, but
I know.
differentiation is stronger than competition because
Mm.
there's so many people vying for the same dollars that and your behavior and the hospitality mindset, so to speak, when inviting these people, when engaging with these people, when re-engaging with people that maybe you haven't spoken to in a year, fine. How did you make them feel? You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing, that kind of differentiator piece, because all of these lovely things that we talk about, most people aren't doing, but the people that are excelling at it are. And that this will be a big separator, in the next, near future, right? Because things are tight and it's getting more difficult, and we can talk about that and whatnot, and hedging against the difficulty and the grants and the this and that and whatever headlines we want to chase. But that differentiation piece and making other people feel good
Yes.
is just a simple, it's a phone call, it's a thank you card, it's all the above. It's a how'd you, what'd you think of this, or can I invite you to go do, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I just think it's no one, most fundraisers aren't doing it.
And like you're right. And gosh, I really differentiation is stronger than competition. I'm going to get us a t-shirt, a bumper sticker, all of the above.
Yeah, it's
Like
good.
that
Yeah,
is that is strong. And you're absolutely right. And I think about like why aren't they? Like fundraisers are smart,
yeah,
they're passionate,
yep,
they're overworked and under resourced a lot. Um, and to speak just a little bit to what we do and why we do what we do at Instill. From you were talking about hospitality. I love that people remember how you made them feel. They're not gonna remember what you said. They're gonna remember how
forever.
you made them feel. And dude, like I've seen you on LinkedIn over the last 6, 7, 8 years, but like I don't think we've sat down and had a conversation, but we just
No,
picked up with energy because I remember our energy aligned. Like I remember that because we both showed up as genuine, authentic human beings and just had a conversation. And it's like that that is what matters. And what we want to do at Instill, it's like, so we talk to fundraisers and it's like, you shouldn't have to choose between hitting activity metrics and building connections, right? So it's like, it's our, not to get sentimental on my end, but it's like
no, it's
our
fine.
heartbeat is to surface the cues and the signals from your donors that reveal whether a relationship is growing or drifting. So how do we make them feel? Not to nerd out a little bit, but there's got to be a way to track that, right? So one of the things we do for our partners is like you can track your donor sentiment over time based on cues and interactions and what's going on in their world, all of these things. So like we can start to surface, like Trevor, the last few times we've interacted, it's kind of been lukewarm. We need to show him some love, like reach out, right? Free fundraisers from systems that bury them so they can focus on connection.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning, man.
yeah. You said 2025. I want to talk about Instill. Like you said, 2025's your best year. You have a lot of experience in the space, and yeah, love to know more about. Love to know more for the audience and for myself as well to know. Just get do a deep dive into the work that y'all are doing, if you don't mind.
Man, I'd be happy to.
Yeah,
I've been in, like you said, I've been in the fundraising space for a while, from the event side to I was at Classy by GoFundMe Pro now, I think,
yeah,
with online campaigns and peer-to-peer type fundraising and all that. The reason I say 2025 has been my best year, it's been my favorite year. First of all, I love talking to nonprofit leaders. Like,
yeah,
I love it. It's a selfish thing for me because like I know I'm a sales guy, right? And it's a dirty word. And like everyone thinks used car salesman, like, that type of stuff. And it's like, okay, I love that challenge, first of all. And like nonprofit leaders are my people, right? These are such passionate, emotionally led, driven folks that are, gosh, just going against the grain, really, right? Of society's norms a lot, and scratching and clawing for everything, and doing it in such a beautiful way that I love hearing their stories. I love hearing the emotions behind them. Like, look, I would be the worst office supply salesman on the planet, right?
Yeah.
I don't care. I
Yeah.
could care less. I have to care, right? I have to care. I got friends that are in like compliance or security, like good for them. They make a lot of money, but I'd be bored to tears and we'd probably be homeless, right? Um, I love the emotionally driven conversations and being able to connect. And 2025, it's going to continue to happen. That's what has me all jazzed up, right?
Yeah.
Those who show up everyday human are going to win. It's got to be connection first. Do I want to drum up business for instill and provide for my family? Absolutely. But just like the fundraiser who is not driven by metrics or lagging indicators, we're driven by genuine connection. That's what fills me up, and everything else is going to take care of itself.
Yeah.
And the world we're in now is like hungry for it. I'm fully confident that we're going to continue to see this shift where smaller, intimate gatherings, events, roundtable, like 100 people or less type of thought, think banks, think tanks, like those types of interactions are going to be huge,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and I love what we're doing at Instill from a standpoint of fundraisers have got to be most every fundraiser I talk to is buried. They're buried.
Yeah.
They're buried in reports. They're buried in systems that do not reflect the way or the real state of their donor relationships.
Yeah.
And they're relationship builders. They're not activity generators. Fundraisers are relationship builders, just like you and I are.
Yeah.
And that's what drives them. That's why they got into this space to begin with. But they're buried.
Yeah.
And we play a role, and I'm so proud of it, to free that up and use tools to eliminate so much of that, to help surface more opportunities for them to connect with the right people at the right time.
Yeah. No, it's good. It is a very interesting time. I'm very bullish. I'm a born optimist. It's hard not to be, I've been kicked in the gut, a few times and all that good stuff, shoot, you and I have known each other for a handful of years, and our business was predicated on people buying trips and experiences and rooms with large gatherings. And we got through that, and we're here now bringing up both those things for a reason, because once again, I'm very, very bullish on the future and the opportunity and this connective piece. And we're watching it unfold in real time. But once again, you and I have both been through, life kicks you in the gut. How has that made you better? If you care to share about it, you don't have to if you don't want to, but talk about what you've seen personally and how that's made you a better father, businessman, fundraiser, a cheerleader for fundraisers, because this space needs to be served, right? So that's where I feel like our goal is to become, that encouragement piece, right? Talk about, how things that have happened to you have shaped you into who you are now.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. Really, it's a huge part of my purpose in life. I've been in recovery since January of 2024.
Okay.
Well, I should say recovery started long before that for me. It's been a non-linear journey, but I feel like a lot of light bulbs and dots got connected in January of 2024.
Awesome.
From alcohol for me, and it's been a completely eye-opening experience for me to see life through a completely different lens.
Yeah.
And I can go on and on about that. I mean, I think for me, it's letting go of what I do not control. And I do not control very much in life. The number one item on my list that I do not control are other people. Right? I do not control other people. And I spent so much of my life kind of hitting my head against the wall, working hard, grinding. Like I'm a hard worker. I'm a people person. Like, and I had good time, good moments, and ups and downs like everything else. But life just didn't feel right. And what I really uncovered and have began to continue to explore is just this idea of, man, I was rooted in ego. And I say that unapologetically because I didn't know what I didn't know. Right? I was the center of my own universe, and I think we're taught to kind of believe that, like and it was all self-centered fear. So I can relate to, I mean, really human beings, but in this cases of our conversation, fundraisers, right? I can relate to that fear of, what if I fail? What if I don't get what I want? What if you take what I want? What if you have what I already have? What if you're going to find out I'm not who you think I am? All of all of these self-centered fear-based things. And I guess I'll say this. I'll say this, and this may be too deep, but I'll say this about it all. So I feel like there's this old parable, Native American parable, and I'll paraphrase it, right? And it's about two wolves. Okay. So there are two wolves inside of me, right? One wolf is my disease, my addiction, my alcoholism. The other wolf is the best version of me that I could possibly be, right? So the parable goes that we choose which wolf to feed, right? Which I think is true. I think it's true. However, what I've come to realize, at least about me, is if I choose to feed neither, then the bad wolf's going to eat regardless. So what does that mean for me? That means it's a gift. It's an absolute gift. It's a gift. I don't ever want to experience what I've been through again, but I'm so grateful for it, because here's my two choices in my life for the rest of my life, right? I'm 41 years old. Lord willing, I got more than that left, right? Is I can either choose to be the absolute best version of myself that I can and feed that wolf, or lose everything. Yeah. And I know which choice I'm going to make, but I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
Right. And it's my purpose to bring value as much as just go into every conversation, every situation, no matter what it is. And there's something freeing about going through something that heavy that allows me to kind of put things in perspective when I'm going into a big sales meeting, or, I have a conflict with one of my children, right?
Yeah.
That's like, I can do this. And I could not be in a better position to deal with whatever comes my way than I am. So let's do it.
I remember reading that parable for the first time 15 years ago-ish, and I had it on a refrigerator.
Did you really?
I did. And I remember it being the way it was framed to me, and you were paraphrasing, and I am too, was it was a conversation between like a father and a son, if I recall.
Yes.
Or a father and a grandfather and a grandson. And the grandson inquisitively, or the child in the story says, which one wins? And the elder says, the one you feed.
The one you feed.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a good one. Yeah.
So we don't have to put this, but I'm working on my sleeve tattoo. It's very recovery based. And right here there's two wolves right here. And that's what that's
awesome.
For. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. That one stuck with me. That one's huge. And it's so interesting. It's, well, I want to circle back to, what you said about like fear and insecurity, which we all are. I've been wrought with in my life. And what's very, very interesting, and I'm not saying this to be simple-minded about it, but it's generated in between our own ears. Mm-hmm. And, like you are raising children. I have two daughters, and I find myself talking to the older one more about this, about, what do you think? I'm so worried about this, and I'm thinking about that. And like, how does this look? And I said, honey, I'm just going to give you the cheat sheet on this one. No one cares. You know what they care about? How they look. So, they're not thinking about what you look like. They're not worried about it, all this. 100%. And it's very and it applies to both, no matter whether you're raising sons, daughters, children in general. I find, that raising two daughters, getting them to realize that and buy in early and often has been a massive, massive task. And obviously one of my greatest, tasks that I've been confronted with. And once again, I love just the intersection of life, real life, and fundraising, and the challenges that folks in our space are faced with. And once again, just like I said, letting the hooks out, that stuff that you're thinking about, and the fear, and it's the world telling you this, and we are over digitized, and we have too much data, and this and that and the other thing. You know what no one else ever also said? I wish I was less patient in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like you woke
Oh
up and you
man,
said,
do I feel that way?
no one ever goes, oh, I wish I had more data to look at. And it's like,
Wish,
spreadsheets and
wish I had less patience.
I just wish I had less patience with myself during that time. You've never heard anyone say that, right? So
Never.
this
It's
is,
so. I was telling somebody that's a good one. I think that's better than what I said. And I talk to myself a lot,
yeah,
like
me
when
too.
I'm posting or whatever. Like it's all talking to Brad, you
Yeah,
know. And it's like I don't think I've ever worked really hard at something and regretted it when I was done.
of
Right.
course. Yeah,
Right.
of
So
course.
it's like, have I regretted not working hard enough? Heck yeah. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it's
yeah,
like, what's the fear there? And it's so funny where you're talking about to your daughters. And by the way, I never like I married into a couple, so
yeah,
I only can create redheaded boys. So that's what I've
yeah.
done. And then I got two stepdaughters here who are awesome and have put me
Yeah,
into the girl dad life a little bit. But
that's awesome.
the people thinking about themselves, right? I remember first getting sober, like, oh man, people are gonna like ask me or like look at me funny for not drinking at this cocktail reception. It's like no one even knows
You know what they're thinking about? What they're going to order.
what they're
Yeah,
gonna order and all that, right? And here's corny saying, but I love it, is the 2x4 rule, right? People don't do things to you, they do them for themselves,
yeah,
right? It's not to you. We're not that important.
totally.
Um,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
all easier said than done. But I love what you said about it being between the ears, right? It's all mindset. I'm a huge mindset believer,
yeah,
and it's not a flip switch. It's like any muscle, right? If I want bigger biceps, I better do the curls every day. If I want a better mindset, I got to practice it. I got to practice it.
yeah.
But
What do you do? What do you do? You said you talk to yourself a lot. You've obviously given yourself the permission. You're putting out really good content, all those things. But just for the audience, because I'm fascinated with these things, like what do you listen to? What do you consume? What do you read? Do you do a Headspace app? Like what? And it doesn't have to be something that you aren't doing right now. But what have you done in the past that's been impactful? It's been effective.
yeah, I appreciate that question. So I love meditation. I'm a big
Mm-hmm.
meditation guy. 10 minutes in the morning. I wake up before the household does
Yeah.
because I need me time is essential. It's a non-negotiable. And in a house with 6 kids, a dog and a cat and a wife, right? There's not much of it, and I'm grateful for it, but I got to find it. I have to. So I wake up, do meditation. I love journaling, though I don't do it as much as I probably should. But journaling mindset is super helpful. Um, I love talking to people,
Yeah,
right?
I can see
Talking
that.
about what I'm thinking, getting it out. In my world, I go to a lot of meetings with like-minded people, and we talk about our feelings.
Yeah.
Right, that's a huge. I have a program that I run. The foundation of my life is built on a set of principles that I do every day. I love nerding out on new books too. I'm actually just finished "Don't Believe Everything You Think" by
Okay.
Joseph Wynn.
Okay.
Uh, awesome book.
Yeah.
Awesome book.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you give a lot of books away?
no, I don't.
I'm
I
just asking.
should.
You don't need to. I'm just
No,
asking.
no.
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
the reason I answered that way is like I should. That's a great idea. I
They're
did.
great. They're a great gift idea for sure. But you know what I find a lot of times I ask now before, like, hey, do you read? And it's not a judgment. It's like, or do you listen to audiobooks? Because that's so, prevalent, right? I'm an old fat. I was a voracious reader growing up, and I have taken back in the practice as much as possible. I find myself liking books. What's funny, how like we like movies and we'll watch it more than once, like in a
Oh yeah.
year, or like once, more than once in a month for if you really, really like it, right? And you pick up new things. I find myself taking another pass at books that I've really enjoyed, a very self-interested way, like, oh, I really, really like this. It really resonated with me and spoke to me. So I'm just going to read it again, that kind of
I
thing.
do the
Yeah.
same. I've done the same thing, and what's
Yeah.
great is we all grow. We're not the same we were when we read it the first time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So things hit different.
Yeah.
And
Big
I will
time.
say, I was audiobook machine pre-COVID because I
Okay.
had an office I went to. I had a commute. I had
Yeah.
I'd put them on in the car.
Yeah.
I've worked at home for 5 years now, so I'm the old fashioned. I love putting my hands on it
Yeah.
and reading that way. I
Hey,
love it.
tell me about this, because you've been at a few shops.
Yeah,
You were at One Cause when
yeah,
you were talking about going into the office,
yeah,
and we have our own shop where some of us are at corporate headquarters, some of us
yeah.
aren't. There's 22 of us in our organization. I'm
Nice.
very, whether I'm a student of it now. I never thought in a million years that there'd be 22 of us when we started. And the more people that have come into my life that depend on me
Mm.
without putting undue pressure on myself, it just is what it is, right? The more people that have come into my life that depend on me, the better my life has gotten.
Oh.
It doesn't mean that it hasn't gotten more challenging. I find like we're being pulled in a direction where we need to speak to nonprofit leaders more. I had a fascinating conversation with someone I'm pretty sure you're friendly with, James Meisner,
Yes.
on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Fascinating, brilliant
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And we found ourselves talking about leadership in this space and culture and all those things. You've been remote, you've been in the office, and you talk to fundraisers and you talk to leaders and major gifts folks, and you focus on that. Talk about the importance of strong leadership. Any opinions you're willing to share about that? Creating, of course, leaders have to create the culture at the organization, or folks leave. I mean,
Right.
like, yeah,
Right.
talk about that, and just think some things you've learned, or maybe some people that have impacted you. I get very long-winded with my questions and I don't let the guests speak, but like you worked at One Cause. No one ever leaves. I know
Yeah.
you did, but
Yeah.
and I'm sure other people have too, but
Yeah.
the same, I'm still talking to you for a reason.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? Like we're still homies for a
Yeah.
reason. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm still talking to people that are still at the shop.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
must be something going on there,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like
Big time.
talk about some of the
Big time.
stuff that you've learned just about leadership and culture, and how folks that are listening that are leadership in leadership positions, development positions at organizations can glean from it, possibly some of your experience.
So there are I would say a handful of like leaders in my life that I've had the pleasure of having a relationship with in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
First one's my dad, who taught me everything I know about servant leadership.
yeah,
But one towards the very top of my list is Steve Johns,
yeah.
right? The CEO of One Cause. That man is I think I saw him at a conference a couple times over the last couple of years. I'd run through a brick wall for him today if he wanted me to, and I wouldn't ask why he wanted me to. I would just do it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I think there's transparency. There's an authentic way of connecting. They're seeing people for who they are. It's very genuine.
mm-hmm.
It's very not shying away from, we are here to run a business. That is why we're here. We're not going to pretend,
Yeah,
but we're able to, through action, create an environment where we're all doing something that's bigger than ourselves. And it's not easy. And I don't think you can set out to say, okay, here's some things that I think will work, but it has to be the right people, the right fit. I'm a big sports guy, right?
yeah,
Like analogies and all of that. And in college sports right now, recruiting's crazy, right? It's all over the place, and we can pay to have the best talent. I can have five-star, the best talented players on the court at the whole time, but they all want the ball, and it's not going to work. Right.
yeah.
So I think a lot of it comes from, and I'll go all over the place, but I think a lot of it comes from expectations from the get-go.
Okay.
Right. So I work for a leader now, Brittany Wardlow. She's incredible. Absolutely incredible. We've met in person once. I think we're about to be meeting in person the second time.
Okay.
Right. At AFP Lead in Atlanta. She just leads with connection and wants to know who Brad is as a human being, is genuinely curious about me. There's no fluff. I'm coached. I have feedback. I feel empowered. One of the things I always ask in an interview when I'm interviewing for a job is, how do you feel about failure? For you personally, for your team, how do you deal with failure? I want to, because we're going to fail. I hope we are. I want a freedom to fail. I want failure to be celebrated. I want to break things. I want to learn together. I don't want to be afraid to fail. If you have a culture where I'm afraid to fail, you're done.
Yeah.
You are done. It
You're
leads
walking on eggshells. Yeah.
It's crazy. So I don't know if I'll be able to answer it exactly.
No, you are,
because
brother.
it's such a conceptual
Mm-hmm.
thing. Every interaction is intentional. Mm-hmm. We're not doing things just to do them, mm-hmm. right? She asked me what I need. Like, I love being coached, and she gives that to me. Like, it's amazing leadership. Yeah. And I think she also, and the good leaders that I've been have given me a platform to lead from my position, right? Even if I'm not managing a team, I can be a leader, and I love that. Like,
Yeah.
I love being an
You have
individual.
that personality. Yeah.
I want to lead by example. I want to be the one people come to. I'd love to keep things off my boss's plate if I can.
Sure.
I love doing that. Um, and I love that kind of responsibility. I do love people depending on to me as well. I love what you said, that your life's gotten better the more people that have depended on you, not
Yeah.
from like a stress standpoint, but just from, yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Well, at the same rate as I'm getting older, I want to be better at it. It does. It's not sunshine and puppy dogs.
Sure.
It's challenging. It doesn't get easier. The bigger things get, it doesn't get easier. The older your children get, the older you get, the
Does it?
life happens. Like I said, you get kicked in the gut. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to anyone and say it gets easier. It gets better. What was funny, what I was able to deduce that idea or distill that idea down when I start getting to a point where I get a little overdone. I get a little overcooked. I tell my wife I'm getting a little talked out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or I tell my business partner, who's my best friend, God bless him, I hit the jackpot with people and in my life, in my entire life. And I've been the benefactor of that. But I found myself like I would leave my phone. You talk about meditation. I would leave my phone at home and go for a walk or go for a run or something. And I found myself, because I have a racing mind, you and I are probably very similar without typecasting you in that
Yeah.
mind,
No, no, no.
in that
Yep.
way. Yeah. And I found myself, I'd write down every thought that I could recount from that walk, just by,
Mhm.
with no phone. Once again, no phone, very
Yep.
meditative, outside,
Yep.
cool, this and that. And I would write things down. And that was one of the things I wrote down. It was, the more people that came into my life that depended on me, the better my life, whether that's another child or my sister works for the company or what have you. And I see that. I've been very hesitant to assign the leader, whatever moniker on myself, no matter what. I can't shy away from it. What's also interesting, I like talking about this kind of stuff because I think our space in a general sense needs to be served,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes.
I think that there's a lot going on, and leaders are wearing a lot, and I want to be of service to them. And I think we can do. I think I can do that just from observation, not necessarily from experience. But some of the best leaders that I've ever witnessed are, I think you mentioned this, they're willing to do the unpopular thing,
Yeah.
have the difficult conversation, lay expectations out. They're really, really good at empowering people and then getting out of the way. Like
Mm.
I find my job is give everyone around me what they need to do theirs, and I just get out of the way. And
Yeah.
I also find it's a very self deprecating position as well, because it's not about you. One of the cool other things I was wanting to tell you too is that I found from one of the best leaders I know. He said, when it's the best time to tell the truth? And I said, no. And he said, when you least want to.
Mm.
I thought
Hmm.
that was really, really good.
That is so good.
That's a
You
tough
and
one. It's tough.
you're
Yeah.
you're so right. I
Yeah.
found out, speaking of just like the journey of life, that, and it sounds so simple and like duh, one of those things, which I think a lot of the best points of life are, is,
Yeah.
but if I have two choices in life and one of them I really, really don't want to do, that's the one I need to pick,
Yeah.
right? Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. And it's like, gosh darn it, I don't want to. I have these like talks to myself, but I know I'm gonna, thankfully, like, not all the time, it's progress over perfection, but I feel like that, and you were speaking to it too, you have some awareness, right? When you're getting talked out, when you're hitting your, like, the self-awareness is key. And I think that comes from that daily practice and intention. You mentioned putting the phone down and going on a walk. I love that, man. I think that's a huge thing. I got off of pretty much all social media except LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I don't get notifications on my phone except from my wife. um,
Smart.
because I will react. I will be in this reactive position. And I learned a long time ago, like, first time when I wake up in the morning, it's got to be very slow and mindful. I'm not reaching for the phone. I'm
Yeah.
not looking at the computer. I'm not doing any of that, because I used to do it just out of habit. And you start your day in chaos.
Yeah.
I heard from somebody, and then I kindly plagiarized them on LinkedIn but it was like, before you finish your day, like, speaking of like working from a computer every day, close all your tabs. Close all your tabs. Like,
Shut it down.
take the leap, because
Yeah.
when you start your day tomorrow, you will thank yourself you're not starting it in chaos,
Yeah.
in absolute chaos. The other thing I'll mention, then I'll shut up about it,
No,
is
I want you to.
one of the ways I use AI that's been crazy helpful for me with mindfulness, and this is why I love AI, it frees me up to be more human,
Yeah.
is I will brain dump. So I'll get on ChatGPT and I'll do the talk to text, and sometimes I will take it on a walk, but I will just spew to it for 9 to 10 minutes about everything going on up here, the to-dos, what I'm worried about, and all that. And for me, it works. It puts it in a nice, clean format. It makes it manageable. It makes it way less scary, and I'm freed. I'm taking it out of here and putting it over here.
Yep.
And
Yep.
now I can be present. It works
Yep.
for a guy that, like, I started my alcoholic journey was to numb. Okay. Like I was just in the fetal position with anxiety, right? It was debilitating. And I
Yeah.
just got this anxiety out of nowhere in my early 30s and was like, I found that alcohol numbed it, right? So like
Yeah.
anxiety and anxiousness and panic, that's been a part of my life, my journey.
Yeah.
And this is such a way to compartmentalize.
Yeah.
And the magic of life, like if I wrote a book, it would be one page and it could be present, be
Yeah.
present, work on being present. That's the magic of life.
Yeah.
The magic of life is being present.
It's funny because you'll like this as a parent. I was talking to a gentleman that's older than me by not quite 10 years, but someone I look up to tremendously. And I said, my daughter was 6 at the time. I'm like, I got to go to gymnastics, man. Like I can't go run today or whatever. And he's got 2 daughters as well. Really, really wise, gentle human being. Like I said, look up to him tremendously. And he said, you know what they want? He's like, you know what your kids want? They just want to look up and see that you're there. He's like, you don't have to do it. You don't have to bring pom-poms if you don't want to. You don't have to scream, whatever. You know what your daughter wants? She wants to look into the stands and just see that you're there. And he's like, I'm telling you, that's enough. And I wasn't going like, hey, man, crap, I don't want to go. I didn't say that, right?
Right.
But he said, and it just stuck with me.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's so funny too, Brad, I think you'll like this, is something we were talking about, the hospitality piece. And I think this will blend really, really well for fundraisers as well. When things like that occur to you, I'm giving folks some very, very delicate advice. When things like that occur to you, or something like that, a thought or what was it, like a memory of that moment when that gentleman told me that, I don't take myself back to that place. I find myself thinking about it, and then what I do when those things occur to me is, when that happened, I picked up the phone and when it like really hit me hard in the chest a couple weeks later, and I was on my way to gymnastics, I called him, and it wasn't uncomfortable. I was like, I'm just calling him out of nowhere, whatever. And he picked up the phone, and I said, hey man, his name's Dennis. I said, Dennis, I just want to let you know what you probably didn't think that much about it, and you were just sharing it with me. And I just picked up the phone and I said, thank you. You know what I mean? I said how much it meant to me. I could have done it via text. I chose to do it over the phone. I was driving. But I really mean this from the hospitality standpoint. I wasn't like trying to be hospitable. I was thanking a friend, right, for saying something that I could take with me for a long time and share with others. And I was grateful for it. Once again, that encouragement or that nudge to folks, like if someone gave you a gift,
yep,
and you haven't done anything about it yet, and you don't know what to say, we always say, well, you can say thank you.
Yep.
That's an easy one. That shouldn't be hard for you, right? And as a human being, that should not be hard to express gratitude, to be gracious. But I'm telling you, whether you're on the for-profit side or the nonprofit side, if you're thinking of someone like a partner or someone that you're collaborating with or hope to do business with, and you're thinking about them, send them a note.
Tell them.
Send them a voice memo. Send them a video of you talking while you're walking.
Yes.
Send them a text. Pick up the phone. Send them an email. Do all the above. DM them on LinkedIn. I don't care. I'm telling you, it's something.
Tell them.
Yes, because another thing, brother, people aren't. We talked about the differentiation.
No, they aren't.
No, it seems obvious, right? And even for me, you can tell how like gregarious I am. I was like, I'm going to call him out of nowhere and thank him for giving me that pep talk about kids that I didn't even like, whatever.
A man knew another man at that, right? Yeah.
And I was, and I'll tell you another piece. It sounds very selfish. It made me feel good to call him and thank him.
No, I was going to say that. And I think that's completely right.
Yeah.
right? And it's not like I'm gonna call him to say thank you so I can feel better about me.
That was not the
No,
point. I just noticed
somebody
that
shows up
later.
and
Yeah.
that's why it made you feel good, right?
I was on stilts after I called him when I was in the parking lot
Yes,
walking to the gymnastics studio.
1000%. You
Yeah.
probably like you may have come across other parents at gymnastics and smiled and waved or whatever and made their day. Like it just and this is what I'm talking about when we show up like this
Yeah.
is it compounds on itself. And I think it takes talking about it. It takes being around like-minded people. You mentioned voice memos, and I love doing that, dude. Like I love doing that.
Whatever your thing is, I don't
I
care
love
what it
doing
is.
that. Like
Yeah.
if it's too scary for you, like the call, I get it. If the phone's 9,000 pounds, like shoot a voice memo to somebody and move on. Like it is awesome. I do that all the time. I see like LinkedIn or like I have buddies with a bunch of sales guys. It was end of quarter and they're all talking about how they hit their quarter number or whatever. And I'm shooting a quick voice memo like, and that's awesome, congratulations,
Yeah.
or new jobs or whatever. If you know something's going on in somebody's life, you want to check in with them. These things, this is why we're here. This is why we exist, is for human connection.
Yeah.
This is why we exist. Put yourself out there. You will not regret it. In fact, you're going to help someone else do the same thing.
Yeah.
And we're all better for it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. There's a lot of psychology rooted in that, a lot of factual things rooted in that. Like, I was grabbing my phone. It's like the most powerful fundraising tool that you have. Just figure out how you want to use it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Absolutely.
And if you don't know what to say, man, say thank you. If you don't know where to start with thank you. That will never go wrong. You'll never go wrong. Oh, hey, that's another thing. Here's the triumvirate. No one ever said, I wish I thanked people less. It would have been better. It would have been better if I thanked people less. I think I overdid on the thank you part.
I think I told too many people how much they meant to me or like the effect they had on my life. I think I probably did that.
We're making it sound so easy.
It's not. But you know what's cool? What helps me too is like leaning into the discomfort. So if it is comfortable, like I just tell the person like this is before I called, I felt like so weird about it. And I just start laughing and like just own it. Just own how you feel.
Be honest.
And it's so cool. People connect with that
because it resonates with people.
We all feel those things. Okay. Like we all feel it.
We're all feelers. And I'm telling you what, the world seems like it's predicated on getting us to feel about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not the only one. Right. So like I said, this is a very delicate nudge. Maybe hopefully not too delicate if it resonates with somebody listening. I think it's good. Like I said, we're making it sound really, really easy. That'll segue nicely into a question that I ask every guest. Just about 95% of all guests, I go, fundraising is hard. It's an accepted premise that fundraising is hard. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. Fundraising is hard. When you get really, really good at it, trust me, it doesn't get any easier because the numbers get bigger, this and that, the other thing. So, Brad, fundraising is hard. For the folks listening, don't make it more difficult by doing what?
Good question. I'm overcomplicating.
Okay, embellish.
Thinking too much. So we all have thoughts. I have thoughts. When I get in trouble, it's when I start thinking about those thoughts. So have a thought, take action on it, or let it pass.
Yeah.
Do not let it ruminate. Do not think on it. Don't overcomplicate it by worrying, by being held hostage by fear. Take the leap, make the call, own how you feel. And what I will say is if you're working with donors, if you're fundraising, if you're in this space like we all are, it's all about humans. It's all about relationships. People want to be a part of a story. It's their values they're striving to live out. It's not a gift. It's not an event attendance. It's not a sponsorship. It's how does this align with my values? Just speak to people as human.
I love it, man. I love it. Hey, you said the only social network, and I know you were just throwing it out there, that you're on is LinkedIn. We'll have your profile in the show notes. Tell folks where they can find you to show you some support. connect with you? Is the best place LinkedIn? You want folks to email you? You want a number where they can text you, call you? Where's the best place for folks to find out
Oh
more
my
about what you're
gosh.
doing there? Yeah,
Yeah. I love LinkedIn. Let's connect on there.
good.
I'm easy to find. I'm the only pale redheaded guy with the last name Ton.
Yeah,
So you'll find me on there. I would love to connect, chat, take it into the DMs.
yeah,
I live to provide value any way that I can, to serve, to learn, like, um, especially from folks like yourself, man, who've been doing it a long time. Like, I'm just super grateful for you and everything that you do in our space. And just like as a human being, it fires me up to connect with people like
cool.
yourself. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, me too, man. I get a lot of juice out of it. It's so cool, bro. We've been doing this thing because we're such big believers in LinkedIn, like we both mentioned, it's like tailor made for our space and just the
Dude.
sharing. And I don't even care if I can't even fill up on one hand how many times I've disagreed with someone, but it's still been very cordial. And I'm not
Oh
afraid to
yeah.
mix it up, but it's not adversarial or like overly competitive or anything like that because we're trying to, what we're trying to derive from the conversation is good, right? And what's so cool, we've been doing this webinar every week for over 200 weeks.
Whoa.
We do a live webinar every Thursday, with the exception of like Thanksgiving and a couple of holidays, right? Or whenever we get talked out, need a break,
Woo. Yeah.
and we've been making it. We've been telling people, we're like, all right, if you come on, you got to put your LinkedIn profile in the chat.
Yep.
And people have been doing that the last few weeks. We just came up with this, of course.
Good for you. This is awesome.
Dude,
That's huge.
it's been
That's
so
huge.
cool.
Yeah.
And now
That's
we're
great.
looking in the chat. People are like, "Hey, I just connected with you." They're not even talking to us. And I'm like, and they're like, "Oh, we just connected with you." And oh, I can't wait to hear your ideas about this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like the vibe the
You're
feeling
doing
that
it.
I got from making that. I was like,
Yeah.
this sounds so
That's
silly.
huge.
Oh, it was
Man,
so cool. It was so
kudos,
cool.
because
Yeah.
that's instrumental. I need to figure out a way to. I'm just little old me here in Indianapolis, Indiana, but I believe so strongly that the opportunity of LinkedIn in general is huge. Like, it's huge. we're,
Yeah.
we're just scratching the surface with it. it's
Not even a question.
it's in its infant stages still.
Yeah. Agreed.
um, if you're in nonprofit leadership, or even an individual role, or whatever, get on there, share your story. Please, like, please, if I can speak, like, don't get on there and just repost your organization's stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like, get on there, share your story, talk about what you do, why you do it, engage with other people. If you're a development director, a VP of development, a chief development officer, your donors are on LinkedIn. They are, and they will see you and engage with you. You have such an opportunity to show yourself as human. The bar's never been lower for human connection. Get out there and do it, please. I beg you, before the nonprofit next door is doing it. Frankly, like, do it.
Agreed. Agreed. Have you done any kind of like classes or had anyone that you've worked with that has given you any feedback about LinkedIn or helped you with your profile or anything like that?
Oh my
And
gosh.
if so, what were like a couple of things? I had one that was really, really, really sticks out and resonates with me that I'll share. But like, what has stuck out with you that like folks could take away that was like, oh my gosh, okay, I get it now, like that kind of thing, like anything like that about LinkedIn?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't worked like with a coach one-on-one or anything, but there are so many like really incredible, I guess, thought leaders when it comes to LinkedIn that are talking about it the right way. Darren McKee is the Michael Jordan of LinkedIn.
Okay.
Follow him.
Okay.
Um, Liam Darmandy is incredible. So many, right?
Yeah.
Here's what I think. Um, LinkedIn is a it's a platform of reciprocity.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep. Good
so
call.
I talk to people all the time that are like, I've tried LinkedIn, I don't get any engagement. I got like 3 or 4 likes, and then I go to their profile and their comments, and like the last comment they made was telling their friend congratulations on their job change a year ago.
Yeah.
Right? Like, engage. The
Yeah.
comments and the DMs are where the magic happens. I would
Yeah.
say, like, I would cut LinkedIn into thirds. Like,
Right.
33% of the work is posting your content. Right? Engage back with it, add new people, Treat it like a neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
If you went to a networking event, you wouldn't walk into the middle of it and announce to people what you do and then walk out, right? And
Yep.
wait for a connection, right?
Yep.
You would ask other people about them. You would get interested. You would have conversations. You would do that
Yeah.
and watch what happens. Tell your story. Do not shy away from who you are. Everyone has a story. Yours is valid, and don't be afraid to share about things outside of your work on there. Like, people want to connect with other humans.
I love that. We have a mutual friend, Mario Hernandez, that said the same thing.
Yeah, Mario's the man. I should have shouted him out as well.
Yeah, he's a homie, man. We got to hang out in person a few weeks ago with his partner Randy and stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, you wouldn't treat a networking event like, hey, I'm the blah 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 person that this organ." You
He's
know
so
what I mean?
right.
Like, it's like, "Hey, I like your shoes, whatever." Like, "Oh, I'm a shoe head too," that kind of thing. One of the ones that just absolutely resonates with me almost daily. A friend of ours, a friend of the pod, and a friend of HGA's, Michelle Benson. She's out of the UK, very prolific on LinkedIn. You should definitely connect with Michelle. But the one thing she said to me about a year ago was, pretend like no one cares who you are, only how you can help them. And that I've just kept on circling. That's been orbiting in my head. And I've been telling everyone, I'm telling the audience and you again, anyone that'll listen, pretend like no one cares who you are, only how you can help them.
That is beautiful.
It was really good because what she's also, and I'm not putting words in her mouth, but she's also like kind of like saying, it doesn't matter if you're the CEO and you've got 7 exits. You know what I mean? Like,
No, it doesn't.
People don't care on your
No.
profile. As a matter of fact, that might be a turnoff for some people. You know what I mean? But like, that kind of thing. Anything that's a connection piece, I think, would be a great nudge for folks as well. And that one really, because that one, it's not about you. It's not about you. That's the point, right?
It's not.
Whether you're in a leadership position or not, or you're starting from square zero, not square one. So, yeah, good. Hey, long time in the making, brother. I'm just glad that we are able to share this time. That hour went by really, really fast. So thank you so much for making
I appreciate it. Hopefully it went according to plan, and we stayed between the lines, hopefully, of what you were looking for. But I'm just grateful for the opportunity to chat with you, man. I felt like we just had a conversation, and I love it.
Awesome.
I really, really appreciate it. If there's ever anything I can ever do for you, like,
thanks,
where to find me.
I appreciate that, man. Hey, I had to ask, hey, what's going on? Still in the hip hop game? What's going on? Talk to me.
So I'm former retired rapper for the since retired. However, since getting back on LinkedIn, long story short, through some nudging and acquaintances that have gotten me on there, I started rapping on LinkedIn every Friday. So you can, if you end up following me, you will. Now, the LinkedIn algorithm, they say they love video on LinkedIn, like it's become more of a video platform, but that remains to be seen, I think. So get on there. If you follow me, I'll do Freestyle Fridays. I'll do some rapping on LinkedIn. We're bringing hip hop to the LinkedIn world every Friday.
Far out, dude. That's awesome. Talk about being different. I don't think anyone else is doing that, so I think that's lovely. Yeah,
it's really fun. It fills my cup, dude.
Good stuff. Well, we're on some. I got a 21-year-old, so she keeps me abreast of all the things that are going on. She sends me a lot of music, a lot of old stuff. I've had a nice influence on her, but we're West Coast people, so we're big Larry June folks.
Okay, all right.
We're Uncle Larry guys and gals, out here. I don't know what's going on because I'm from the Bay. We're big Larry June people. I don't know what's going on. We can't get him out of the playlist, but yeah, we love Larry. We love Uncle Larry.
I love that, dude. I'm getting so old. I don't even know what's current anymore. I'm sitting here,
it's all good.
I'm in my car listening to 90s music like 99% of the time, and I that's totally cool.
Dude, I'm wearing my Chris Cornell shirt, bro.
There you
go. We were living through like the heyday of music, of course. And if it's good, it's good. You'll keep listening to
it. Greatest decade in the history of life.
I love it. I love the fact that I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I wouldn't replace it for the world. So
there is nothing better than some 90s jams, dude.
Dude, life was just a heck of a lot less complicated. I'll tell you that much, but whatever. I think this is also, and I did say, I meant it. This is the greatest time ever to be alive. I really believe that. And for a lot of reasons, I'm not going to, list them all, but it is. And I think that framing that is our job. You know what I mean? Because
I could not agree more.
Yeah,
I
man.
cannot agree more.
It's good. Life is good. Hey, man, life is really good. Thank you so much for taking the time. I mean that. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
This conversation was a long time coming. I'm glad we were able to have it. And this is your invitation to come back as well, brother. So thanks so
Oh
much.
man, anytime you'll have me, I'll be here. I appreciate you so
All
much,
right.
Trevor, dude.
All
Thank
right,
you.
dude. Thank you. Hey, everybody, do us a favor. Show Brad some love. Connect with him on LinkedIn. I know that would tickle him. And hope you all got a lot out of the episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we'll see you all next time.